This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're on location with TM Grace Builders. Basically, since 2011, they have been coming into Denver here and restoring beautiful homes as well as general contracting. I'm here with the president, Tony, as well as the supervisor here on the job, Tony. Let me ask you, you got your education from the University School of Colorado.
Correct. Yeah.
You've got environmental design. Tell me what that's all about.
Environmental design is a bachelor's to an architecture degree. Without being in an accredited college, they can't call it a Bachelor of Architecture. So to get your architecture degree, you had to go to a postgraduate or a master's degree, which was also at the University of Colorado, hence the master's
So
architecture.
You got the architect master. You went on to actually do that as well.
Correct.
Let me tell you, before you even stepped foot in the classroom there, what got you interested in the building?
You know, since 1992, I've owned a construction company that did decks here in Denver. And so really from sophomore year in high school, I really fell in love with kind of design and construction, although it was a small part to it. And then when deciding to go to college, you know, you always kind of have to pick what your specialty is and what your drive is. And architecture and design was really my drive with the construction element to it.
Excellent. And so basically, you basically bring 20 plus years to the work site here. Exactly. With experience. And but when you started in 2011 with the TM, basically your primary focus was restoring these historic homes throughout Denver back to their charm again, right?
Right. Yeah. And actually, I had a business with my brother-in-law, so we've been doing this for about 6 years, and I recently branched out onto my own with TM Grace. So been doing it for about 6 years, and have a love for the historic architecture. And a lot of contractors around town don't quite understand the older homes, and that's kind of where our forte came in, is to kind of embrace these older homes and fix them to today's standards.
Excellent. Now, obviously the historic homes was your primary focus, but give me a quick overview of all the different types of projects you guys can accommodate people out there. I imagine you can accommodate any caliber.
Yeah, you know, on the commercial realm, we do a lot of work for the Denver Zoo. So we do anything from custom, feline tiger cages, giraffe shade structures, to, laundry rooms, some of the smaller projects, to bathroom renovations. Really, our expertise is what we call expansion. So second story addition, pop tops, main floor additions, kind of making some of these older bungalows that are 1,000 square feet or less usable in today's society. So those, we can kind of accommodate anything. I really call ourselves a specialty contractor, and that's kind of where the Denver Zoo came in, is that we can handle any project they have come in our direction.
I imagine it has to be quite an art to be able to mix the past with the future and making sure it's keeping that charm and that great beauty, but yet at the same time modernizing.
Correct. That's really the key, especially with the architecture element, that I think sets us apart from any other contractor, is you come in and you're not trying to get rid of that historic character, these craftsmen, the trades that are 100 years plus. You're trying to enhance it and add to it. And really the hardest part in doing that is making it look like there wasn't an expansion there, that this house has always been this way for 100 years. And that's really what we strive for. We strive to make sure that there isn't a line to where the old stops and the new starts, that everything kind of melds together.
Excellent. And Tony, obviously you're here on location making sure everything comes to pass. Once they've gone through the consultation, the architects laid everything down, it's your job to make sure everything gets scheduled and put in place. Let me ask you, first of all, your team that comes out here, well, how many in a team do you normally work with?
It all depends on the size of the project, but normally between 5-7 guys.
Excellent.
From the beginning, the demolition up to.
Tell me about this project real quick behind us here. You guys started this now in the first part of May. Tell me, what do we hope for behind us?
Well, we hope to make the best of it and to make this house look beautifully. Yeah, beautiful as this should be,
Excellent. That's perfect. I mean, let me ask you, first of all, Tony, we've got restoration versus replacement. Right. Tell me, people got to be thinking about that. Tell me what your views are on that.
Yeah, in the building industry, it's real easy to come in and scrape a house and start from dirt and ground up, and you get rid of really a lot of headaches. But what you get is you get basically a new house that's in an old neighborhood, and it really doesn't flow, it doesn't fit. So a lot of these neighbors really have problems with that. So, come in and restore it or renovate it is a lot harder, because you're dealing with existing condition, you're dealing with different forms of construction that aren't around anymore, and you have to deal with that and make everything look good.
Absolutely. So basically, you're talking about keeping the aesthetics of the neighborhood, not only of just the house itself, and people are probably happy for that.
Yeah, people buy in these neighborhoods like Washington Park, Park Hill, Congress Park. They buy in there for a reason. It's got a neighborhood feel. People buy in areas, in the suburban realm outside of that for that reason. So if you come in and you put a new house that could belong anywhere in Denver into a neighborhood setting, you really have a tendency to aggravate the neighbors if it doesn't mix in with the surroundings. So it's kind of nice to say you come in and you deal with it delicately, and you say, we are getting more space here, but we're really taking the streetscape into effect. We're really taking the adjacent properties into effect, making sure this thing blends and looks good rather than an eyesore that sticks out.
Absolutely. Well, we're getting ready for that summer season right around the corner, and obviously people are not only adding on new rooms and what have you to their sites here, but actually even maybe a porch, right? Tell me about your porch work you guys do.
Yeah, we do a lot of decks and porches. That's what kind of started in 1992 here in Denver, really where my expertise started. And, Tony Baltiera, he's kind of the lead crew there. So I always say we specialize in the decks, porch realm, that we can do anything else, but our trades and our subcontractors are really skilled in that realm. So it's really an expertise of ours that we've kind of tied into the new company that's been around for a long time, but it's just one element that we can do for you.
Absolutely. Speaking of these decks, I imagine people think about them a little bit too late sometimes, and they say, hey, wait a minute, summer's coming up, I'd like to have a deck out there. As far as your turnaround time goes on decks, obviously every job is different, but you guys normally seem to hit the mark and make sure they get out there and enjoy their decks for the summer?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Yes. I mean, it's got to be interesting because of the fact that it's hot out here. You've got crews. The weather obviously is a big factor out here. Speaking of the sun and the weather, what about shadings? What type of deals do you do there?
We do just about anything from wooden structures with sailcloth on them to standard what we call California covers, a lighter dimensional, to dimensional shingled porches or roof, what some people will call patios. We can do concrete, we can do wood, we can do just about anything. The newest trend is these composites we've been doing for about the last 7 or 8 years, Trex and whatnot, low maintenance. So we can do just about anything, that you can imagine.
Now, let me ask you, if a person out there, our viewers are out there, and somebody's thinking about adding on or basically restoring one of their homes out there, I imagine that starts out in their mind, and that's where the dream begins. But a lot of people out there want to know, how does the architect tie into that? I mean, a lot of people wouldn't think about bringing on an architect from maybe just a smaller job or what have you. Tell me what the importance is.
Just because that's my background, and I really feel strongly that, this is something that's needed in construction. A lot of people think architects are only needed for larger projects, larger expansions. It's not true. An architect comes in and builds you what you want and knows the construction aspect from, a patio to how it's structured with chairs and porches to number of people, down to a laundry room, how it functions with doors and circulation and all of that. So I just feel real strongly that, architecture needs to be in construction. And a lot of times it's a disconnect for these contractors. They either hire one on and it's an adverse relationship, or they don't hire one on at all and they run into problems. At TM Grace, we combine both of that. So we do a design build on everything we do, keeping in mind that it's, architecturally designed from the beginning.
Fantastic. And so obviously it boils down to a lack of planning. Right. I mean, the architect is your planner. So folks, you have an idea out there, you want to do a restoration, you can basically call up TM here. They will come out. The phone number's at the bottom of the screen right there, as well as their contact information. They will, first of all, sit down with you in a consultation. They'll go over basically what you want to do. What's nice about it, they can give you a cost feasibility and find out how feasible it is of what you're talking about. They can give you some kind of scheduling and what it's going to take. Once you decide to go ahead and go through with that, then obviously the guys come out into scheduling, get it all done, and make sure that what you wanted is what you got, and it basically didn't go over cost too much, didn't go over time too much, and basically kept within the right means. I think a lot of times if people don't plan it, they jump right in, you end up going way over your budget.
I always tell people that the advantage of a contractor, and some people will say out there is an advantage. The key advantage is that I keep you on budget and on schedule. Tony's my man for half of that, for the schedule. For budget, that's really kind of my job. You see a lot of these shows where where people say I'm over budget 40,000, I'm over budget 40%, and you're exactly right. It's because it was never planned from the beginning. At TM Grace, since we've been in business since 2005, we've never been more than 3% over budget on any project, and that's because the expectation is out there. We list out all the expectations up front, and you know that number from the very beginning. We don't play the contractor game of coming in a low ball number and then adding all these change orders and stuff to that. I mean, in the end, no one ever is happy with that. So getting kind of that budget in line is key as a contractor. The other is schedule, and that's where Tony Baltiera comes in. That if you're going to be your own contractor, it can take you a year, but as for us, we make profit the shorter it is, and also the happier you are when we're saying this house that's behind us, where they're disconnected for 6 months and they're not in their house paying double mortgage and rent at the same time. So if we can complete that in a timely manner, we're more valuable to you.
Not only that, but any time where it falls behind schedule and it's not your home, but maybe you're restoring something out there that you want to turn around and sell, you're actually losing money every day that thing's not ready for sale. And speaking of having it for sale, you guys even will help them stage these things and put it on the market for no beat. Right?
Yeah, we're turnkey. I mean, we do a lot of these, what people call flips as well, in different market. In the current market, we're not doing a lot of them, but we can come in and we come stage one where someone says they got this house and it won't sell because the kitchen's too small or it doesn't have a second bathroom. We can do studies. We can do studies based on that, and we can basically come in. We can stage the house. We can do just about anything that you need to do from beginning to end. We have an on-site interior designer that completes basically the three of us. So it's a turnkey operation from start to finish. You don't need to go anywhere else.
Excellent. Honesty, integrity, and character. Basically, they feel down here that is essential to a quality construction job. And so at TM Grace Builders, folks, once again, the website is at the bottom of the screen right there. You can check out a lot of their past projects that they've done there, a lot of their past clients, and contact them. I'm sure they will be happy to come on out and restore that home in your neighborhood back to its original charm. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.